Hey YouTube, welcome back to another quick video. Just got another trombone. I know, they just never stop flowing. Whatever, I like new horns. This one looks oddly familiar to something that I got, I don't know, a few months ago, 6 months ago maybe. A King 607F, which is the intermediate King model that's roughly a King 3B Plus in 525 with some slightly different features to make it cheaper to make. This is the King 608F, which is exactly the same, except that it has a rose brass bell, which has got slightly higher copper content and therefore appears to be a little more red than the yellow brass on the rest of the instrument or the yellow brass bell on the 607. Just found this literally today and went and picked it up for a nice, good price. This one actually had a case that was functional, came with like a bunch of other stuff, like a mute. So really made out like a bandit. Got some cool stuff. Got a Brad Edwards book that I didn't have already. Really cool. And I got free trombone with the whole deal. And this one's in way better shape than the 607, which I have actually just sold like a couple days ago to a friend who is going to make great use of it. It's still a great horn. This one just happens to be much shinier in appearance. Again, so 525 slide in yellow brass with the extruded oversleeves. They're not a separate piece, but they're part of the construction. Yellow crook, that's all different than the Pro Model Kings, which are nickel. It's got the intermediate fittings on the slide. Looks a little bit different than the Pro Models. It has the straight brace instead of the curved Pro Model brace that's on all the B horns. These have the big valve, which, I don't know, I have to check a modern 3BF. I think they might come with a big valve as well. I don't know why they wouldn't. But the 3BFs that I've had and the ones that all of my friends have, which are all from the 70s, all have this small valve, which on that instrument is fine. These do play a little better, but they generally have like a little bit heavier and slower action. Just more stuff to move around. And of course the forward swoop and the F attachment. And then the rest of this, it's just a King 3B. Like all these, everything here basically except for the brace is 3B. The bells, according to my friend, and I've said this in a previous video, are exactly the same as 3B bells. Just at the end, they get a 608 stamp or 607 stamp or whatever. There's also 609. I'm not sure what that horn is, but I think it also has a rose brass bell. As far as I know, there's no difference between 608 and 609. I don't know, maybe if someone else has one, they can tell me. There's also the 606 and I believe 605F trombones. Those are small bore. I think they're 500 instead of 525. They have like the narrow tuning slide from the student models like the 606. And they have an F attachment. I'd love to try one of those out someday. I've seen one like maybe on like eBay or Facebook Marketplace or something, but I've not seen one in real life. I'd like to see how they check out though, just compared to the larger intermediate models and maybe the 3BF, because they are a little bit smaller. Anyway, that's the 608. I think it's kind of funny. This is not actually funny, but I think it's kind of funny that I just had a Chaguerolle Aurora with a gold brass bell and a King 607 with a yellow brass bell, and I've just inverted. Both of those horns are gone, but now I have a 608 with a rose brass bell and another Aurora with the yellow brass bell. So they just, whoop, they just traded places. Two horns that I never thought I'd own twice. Really didn't think I would have both of these twice. So like I said, I sold my 607 to a friend, and she might be putting this valve on that, or I guess the other way around, might use this bell section and put that 607 valve on this and make a 2-valve King 610FD or something like that. Kind of tiny little bass, double valve tenor, whatever you want to call it. Very excited for that. For the meantime, I'm going to keep playing some notes on this because it's a weirdly good trombone. That's all I got. Bye.